Max Verstappen just delivered what his team boss called a race of perfection at Monza, winning by 19 seconds in a car that was literally modified during practice. But here's what's got the paddock talking. Why did Red Bull physically cut a section out of their rear wing mid-session? How did they transform from struggling desperately at this same track just 12 months ago to setting F1's fastest ever qualifying lap at 164.466 miles per hour? And what does McLaren's Andrea Stella mean when he admits his team's car design philosophy is fundamentally flawed for tracks like Monza? According to the technical analysis by Mark Hughes and Giorgio Piola, the answers reveal a masterclass in engineering strategy that started before the 2025 season even began, and it's changing everything we thought we knew about this championship fight. Let's rewind to understand just how dramatic this turnaround has been. Last year at Monza, Red Bull was in crisis. As Hughes and Piola report, Max Verstappen was battling entry instability and mid-corner understeer with no solutions available. The team couldn't find a workable balance window to run the car at the low drag levels Monza demands. It was a weekend to forget. Fast forward to this year's Italian Grand Prix, and we're witnessing the complete opposite. Not only did Verstappen secure pole position breaking F1's all-time qualifying speed record, but according to the analysis, this was the first time all season the RB21 showed genuine race day pace advantage over McLaren. That's not just improvement, that's a fundamental shift in competitive dynamics. The timing makes this even more significant. We've seen Red Bull competitive at low downforce tracks like Jeddah and Silverstone this season, but Monza represented the ultimate test. As Hughes and Piola point out, being a more extreme low downforce track, it was even better suited to Red Bull's aerodynamic efficiency when running minimal wing levels. You might think this was simply Red Bull's superior engineering finally showing through, but the data tells a more complex story. McLaren team principal Andrea Stella's post-qualifying comments reveal something crucial about the competitive landscape. Generally, the way we design our car, its best efficiencies are at a higher level of rear wing. We know this is similar to last year, and when we reduce the level of rear wing, it loses a bit of overall aerodynamic efficiency relative to others. This admission is massive. McLaren has built a car that's fundamentally disadvantaged at low downforce circuits. While this might explain Red Bull's Monza advantage, it doesn't explain the dramatic transformation from last year's struggles. Something else had to change. But here's where it gets interesting, and this is the retention hook that keeps you watching. The real story isn't just about car philosophy. It's about a decision Red Bull made before the season even started, and a mid-practice gamble that could have backfired spectacularly. Here's what really happened, according to Hughes and Piola's investigation. Red Bull's 2024 Monza struggles weren't just about car balance, they were about wing design. Last year, like several other teams, Red Bull simply adapted their standard low downforce wing, rather than creating something specific for Monza's unique demands. In the cost cap era, teams often choose not to spend valuable wind tunnel and resource time on Monza-specific solutions. But Red Bull learned from that mistake. For 2025, before the season had even begun, they were already working on a dedicated Monza wing. The technical details are fascinating. Compared to wings used at Jeddah, Silverstone, and Spa, this mainplane's underside was almost completely flat. Hughes and Piola note that finding and tuning the wing around this geometry consumed major simulation time and cost, but it was worth every penny. The strategic thinking becomes clear when you examine their complete package. Despite the skinny rear wing, Red Bull chose a relatively big front wing profile. This gave Verstappen the quick, low-speed rotation into the slow chicanes that he exploits so masterfully. It's a combination that created challenges at higher speed corners like Lesmo 1 and Ascari, but they solved those through mechanical setup adjustments. Then comes the truly bold move. Partway through FP3, with the car already performing well, Red Bull decided to push further. Team boss Laurent Mekies revealed the dramatic moment. We stepped even further down on wing level at the very end of FP3, and while it looked more difficult to get the balance right with the even lower wing level, Max was very strong in pushing us to keep it on the car and find other solutions to give us the balance back. Think about the risk here. They physically cut a section out of the top of the flap during practice. This gave Verstappen a trickier car on corner entry, but the lap time improvement from even lower drag was worth it. As Hughes and Piola report, this was the car configuration that delivered that record-setting pole position. The race day implications were even more significant. The combination of Red Bull's aerodynamic efficiency and their front wing choice meant Verstappen's front left tire avoided the graining that plagued the chasing McLarens. The numbers don't lie. Verstappen finished 19 seconds clear of Norris. That's not just winning, that's domination at a track where Red Bull was nowhere 12 months earlier. According to Hughes and Piola's analysis, Red Bull's excellent aerodynamic efficiency at low wing levels is paying real dividends. With several more low to medium downforce circuits remaining on the calendar, McLaren's admission about their car's efficiency limitations at reduced rear wing angles becomes a season-defining weakness. What's particularly telling is how this connects to Red Bull's earlier season struggles. We've seen them competitive at other low downforce venues, but Monza represented the ultimate validation of their design direction. The car's fundamental characteristics haven't just been optimized. They've been weaponized for specific circuit types. This brings us to the questions that will define the remainder of this championship fight. If McLaren's design philosophy makes them inherently disadvantaged at low downforce tracks, how do they respond? Do they sacrifice performance at high downforce venues to become more competitive at tracks like Monza? The timing of Red Bull's resurgence also raises questions about their development trajectory. According to the analysis, they invested heavily in Monza-specific solutions before the season began. What other track-specific developments have they been working on in parallel? Perhaps most intriguingly, Verstappen's role in pushing the team toward more aggressive wing configurations suggests a driver-car combination hitting peak performance. Mekies specifically credited Max for insisting they maintain the ultra-low wing setup despite the handling challenges it created. Looking ahead, the evidence points to Red Bull having found something approaching the optimal formula for maximizing their car's strengths while minimizing McLaren's advantages. The question isn't whether they can repeat this performance, it's whether their rivals can adapt quickly enough to prevent Red Bull from running away with both championships. What do you think? Is this the turning point where Red Bull's technical mastery finally overwhelms the field, or can McLaren and others find ways to counter these low downforce advantages? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dive F1 analysis as this championship battle intensifies.